This is ecotopiaU Media. I'm your host, Melissa McGinnis, joined by my co-host, Tom Wright. We have a very special guest with us today, Ken Roseboro. Ken, nice to see you here.
Nice to see you.
So we're at the Anaheim Convention Center enjoying yet another Expo West, Natural Products Expo West. What are you seeing here on the floor that's of interest to you?
Well, there's a huge crowd here every year. This show just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And
there's 3 floors this year. I don't know.
Well, now that it's from the basketball arena all the way to Hall E and the Hilton. And the Marriott and the tent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it gets bigger and bigger. I think the proliferation of the non-GMO Project Verified seal is everywhere now on a lot of booths.
Thank God, that's fantastic.
So you're the editor of the Organic and Non-GMO Report. Right. How did you get there? Tell us, get us there in 3 or 4 steps. How did you get there?
Well, I've been publishing this since 2001, and I originally got into it. I was working for a company that does GMO testing and writing public relations articles for them about their testing back in 2000. This was Genetic ID.
This is based in Fairfield,
Yeah,
Iowa.
in Fairfield, yeah. So I was writing for a lot of trade magazines, and then one thing led to another, and I saw this non-GMO market emerging back in 2000. It's very in its infant stages, so I decided to launch a publication just focusing on non-GMO. And so I've been publishing it ever since, and now non-GMO is mainstream. Hershey's Kisses are going to be non-GMO.
Project Verified with the butterfly?
No, they're doing their own.
They're their own.
Their own, yeah. But Cheerios and grape nuts, it just shows how non-GMO has become mainstream, and it's great because people are becoming more aware of the genetically engineered food issue and the concerns around GMOs.
And just to explain to our viewers, what are the concerns?
Well, there's health and environmental. The technology, a lot of people, including scientists, say that the technology has not been tested fully enough. That it's a very risky technology when they insert foreign genes into the DNA of food plants. They have no idea what could be created as a result. They're manipulating a very fundamental level of nature doing this, and they don't know the consequences of that.
To future generations.
So we're guinea pigs right now.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big feeding experiment, basically.
Which is outrageous. People should be outraged.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, more and more people are becoming outraged, which is why you see a lot of GMO labeling initiatives in states, in some 25, 30 states, people introducing labeling bills. The ballot initiatives in California and Washington and Oregon, which unfortunately didn't pass. Vermont passed a labeling bill. So there's just been a groundswell of consumer activism on this topic because people want to know what's in their food. And the food industry is just trying to squash that right now.
And are they? It sounds like we're fighting back. We're making headway.
Yeah,
we're not afraid of the big bully.
Right. Yeah, we definitely are fighting back. Like Vermont passed a law, a labeling law. Connecticut and Maine did 2 years ago, although their laws are a little weak. And Vermont passed a law, and now the Grocery Manufacturers Association, which represents the big food companies, has sued the state of Vermont to overturn this law.
They are being aggressive.
Yeah, and as I saw in an article this past week, they're losing the PR war because it makes it look like they're trying to hide something by doing this.
But they are.
Yeah, exactly.
But
they are hiding something.
I think that it's just fair for a consumer to be able to make a choice. We're not saying everything has to be non-GMO. We're just saying we want to know if it is or not. We have a right to know.
Exactly.
So those bills, they need to be passed.
Yeah, Ken and I have known each other a long time on this issue, and it's one of the stranger things because patent law, right? They get a patent due to novelty, not to improvement.
Right.
So they're not even claiming improvement. They're just the novelty that they could do something that wasn't there before.
Right.
Yeah. And then they claim in the same sort of court documents substantial equivalence. Yeah. So it's like they want both sides of the argument. They want, how can you be substantially equivalent and yet still be novel, be distinct? You can't.
Right.
You know,
right.
so it is a head scratcher.
Yeah, the seed is unique and patented, but when it's food, it's the same as everything.
It's the same as everything. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I know.
You know, it's like there's
a breakdown in the
it's like
logic.
they think we're idiots. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, and we're not. You know,
Right,
I think
right.
people don't want to be guinea pigs. I think it's that simple.
Yeah.
You know, so
So we're excited about some of the headway we're seeing here and some of the bills that are being proposed and passing. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely been momentum. Vermont passed a law last year, and there's bills that have been introduced already in 2015.
Now, I heard about some packaging that's non-GMO. That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. It just shows how this non-GMO trend is extended from food down to packaging. Be Green packaging is non-GMO verified.
Yeah. Is it the only kind?
as far as we know, yeah, up to this point, and it's of course it's tree free, so they're not dealing with tree fiber. They're dealing with fiber from sugarcane, fiber from bulrush. I think they have some other fibers.
Would it be considered organic as well? Is something organic not non-GMO?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah,
Who
that's
knows
a
the
good
answer?
question.
Yeah.
Ideally, if it's if a product is certified organic, it had to have been produced without genetic engineering. GMO seeds could not have been used in an organic product.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that a farmer could grow organic seed, organic corn in his field, but it could be cross-pollinated with GMO corn. And unless this corn is tested, the product could still be sold as certified organic, even though it would be contaminated by GMO corn. So that's one of the kind of the problems, one of the weaknesses, and it's why the non-GMO project has emerged to fill that gap, that non-GMO assurance gap for people.
Thank you for that clarity. I think that you kind of answered a question for a lot of people that was on their mind. Where can we go to get non-GMO information?
Well, we have a great website, non-GMO report.com, non-GMO report.com.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page where we post articles related to GMOs and non-GMO. We have 660,000 followers on our Facebook page, so we've gotten a lot of followers on there. So we try to get a lot of good information out there to people to educate them about this issue.
So important what you do. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And don't you have some questions about what he thinks about the non-GMO as its own entity, its own?
Well, I think that it would be exciting to talk about what you're doing basically, but here at the expo to kind of form a little team to have a center for education, just in a very similar way, the way the Organic Center did, providing information, providing facts, and then celebrating each other. You know, once a year, come together and celebrate some of the successes.
Rather than act like we're confused, act like we know there's two different paths that are have the same trajectory, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give it some clap.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it sounds like it could be a great initiative.
Well, next year, I think we should have a gala next year.
Yeah, for sure. You could see.
You're president of the new center. I just want you to know, so you have to be there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.